Welcome everyone to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know that sometimes part of the reading will resonate with you, and then part of the other part of the reading will resonate with the other person. The messages always go to the person that needs to hear the message. That's how it works. Just like you're a magnet of who and what you need to help you heal. That's what these readings are pretty much about. These readings do look at everything, but I like to go deep within the reading. So I look at everything. I look at the spiritual blocks and the shadows, and we see how they play out as karmic themes. And we focus on those aspects more than what this person's going to do, what they did do. We do talk about that, but only because a lot of times we don't understand why they did what they did. And that is what's keeping us blocked. When we're able to see things through a different perception, that's what's healing. There's many different realities that play it at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on what you believe. So when we're stuck in a limited perception, and a limited perception would be one that limits us, that that cuts us off from abundance, from love. And that could be, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough. Then many times people create facades, they wear masks, create illusions because it's embarrassing. They feel that their inadequacy everyone sees, and that is embarrassing. So that's why they do it. But the problem is, the more that you live from the ego sense, and there the ego is the dust part of self, and the dust part of self is a part of self that when we look in the mirror, we say, that's who I perceive that I am. But we are not our job. We are not our emotions. We are not these outside things or manifestations that come due to the experiences that we go through. What we are is who we decide to become. And unless we have passion, then we're not being led by the right thing. The passion for life is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about passion for another person. We're talking about passion for life. And that's through our unique individuality, through the creation process. Many people feel empty inside. And when they feel empty, it's because they don't know who they are. So they attract the same type of energy. That's when we attract past life karmic mates. There's many different soul relationships. Now, the past life karmic mates we talk about a lot on this channel, and they're the ones that come in and they give a lot of negative karma because they've accumulated a lot of negative karma through the way that they lived and through coming to you. You could live a very clean life, per se, spiritually clean life, but to be with someone that's so out of balance, well, then you're inheriting some of their karma. And a lot of times people don't realize that. They say, I don't understand. My life was good, and then I dated this person, and now I'm a mess, and my life looks a mess. So again, we inherit other people's karma when we deal with these past life karmic mates. Now, past life karmic mate has a choice whether or not they want to step it up to be in a better energy, to live more from their true self, their higher self, or whether they want to stay in a low vibration. The problem is past life karmic makes a lot of times choose to stay in that low vibration. Today, we're going to see whether or not your person wants to step it up or whether they're going to stay in a low vibration. See, past life karmic mates always have the potential to step it up to twin flame level. Now, twin flame comes into the connection with all the same baggage. They're just more willing to work on it, and they can't work on it by themselves. The transmutation process is required in this aspect when there's deep spiritual blocks to be transmuted by two people, and that's through the passion, not just passion for in the bedroom, but passion in life, what they decide to create, what they decide to bring forth. So again, everyone has the potential. Sometimes people don't step it up to that twin flame level, and they don't realize like what they're missing out on because they're focused on the triggers, because it's not like those wounds aren't there. The wounds are still very much there. The only difference is the unconditional love you have for the person. You're willing to look at things through a different perception. You're going to work through, even though you may not want to. It's because you have such love for the person has such love for you. Okay. So the underlining energy is anger. We got this card yesterday. It's the person I think is still angry. We're gonna definitely need to pull two more cards now, when the energy is still the same. Um, so let's go a little bit deeper, like I said, and we're gonna pull two other cards. One more from this, apathy. I think I got that last. That was two yesterday or the day before. That's why we pull other cards to get different perception, honor. Oh, okay. So this person is angry because they acted like they didn't care about you, and they know that you don't care about anything except for the honor, the respect, that they gave you nothing, that they didn't treat you with the honor, and they're actually angry that you're holding them to it. It's like, I think that this person played a lot of games, thought that you were going to cave into them, that they didn't really have to treat you anyway. And what it is that you're literally holding your ground and you're making this person look at you for who you are, where they weren't willing to look at you at all. And so they're angry because it's almost like no one has ever put them in their place. It's like you're being like, no, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to do anything for you until you apologize, until you take notice and it's actually bothering this person. And because the guilt feels so bad, it's like they're not used to feeling that emotion. They don't like feeling it, so they're angry. So this really says more about them than you, but they're projecting their anger onto you. Like they feel like you're being cruel. They feel like you're being angry because you're standing your ground. Because you're like, oh no, you didn't honor me. You think that you're going to be with me and you didn't honor me? You gave time and attention to somebody else? I don't care what your reasoning was. I don't care what it was. I feel like this person thought that they were going to play around. Again, this person acted as if you didn't exist. They purposely stonewalled you. They excluded you. You felt like you didn't exist and that you wanted to feel involved in their life, not isolated. But they were purposely doing that to you, purposely doing it, purposely ignoring you. Like, again, you weren't heard, you weren't valued. Again, I feel like you're someone that's very confident, and that triggered this person. It's like they wanted to knock you down a little bit. It's like you were a little bit too confident, you were a little too uh having a good life. Where I believe that this person, when you met them, they pretended to have a good life. They pretended to look like they had their life all together, almost like the best catch. But understand that's why you were excluded. They couldn't let you come up that close because again, you would see their life. So if anything, they're insecure. So they wanted to make you feel insecure, and they did so by ignoring you, by excluding you, where you had enough of the abuse and it was psychological and it was emotional. Like you felt like, well, I'm not going to be in a relationship where you keep manipulating me because you don't feel bad about betraying me. And you're not seeing that you're betraying me, but abandonment is betraying. And then on top of it, you're going to be stubborn about it. You're going to be stubborn and acting as if I'm the one that's doing something wrong when I'm not doing anything wrong. You're the one that's doing wrong. Yeah, this person, like, again, whatever promises that they would make, they would continually break them. I feel like they would give you breadcrumbs, come in and out of your life, tell you that they were going to change, make plans with you, but nothing ever stuck. It was like they didn't want to give. And you just took this as far as like this relationship can go. This is what you feel like because they take it to the extreme. So you felt like walking away was the best thing that you could do, but you didn't tell this person that you were leaving. And I feel like because you didn't tell this person that you were leaving, like you didn't make a big stink about it, you just kind of like let go. And this person thought that you were playing a game for a long time. That's not what happened. It's like now they're realizing it. And now that they're realizing it, let's see what they're doing about it. They have anxiety because they feel like they took it as far as it can go. They know, and that they were lazy. They're not really doing anything about it. Now, part of that is because I feel like they're spiritually blocked. And when a person is spiritually blocked, they see things through a very narrow perception. And the thing is, there's no solution. And this person is feeling emotions that they have never felt before. Like they normally don't, like, I don't feel like people have ever made this person pay for their karma. I really don't. I feel like they've usually been able to run to somebody else to like pick up the slack, where somebody else inherits a lot of their karma. And it's through the working together and fixing things that this person grows an attachment to the person. However, it's built on codependency. So what happens is over time, this person doesn't have sexual feelings, doesn't have that connection. So what happens is that they don't want to stay in that previous connection and they act like however they want to act. And then over time, that relationship becomes broken, is shattered, and it's shattered because they're lazy. They don't really change in any relationship. They let somebody come in and fix them and do all the work. And yeah, they go along for the ride. I'm not saying that they're not appreciative. I'm not saying that they might not help out, like, oh, let me fold the laundry, or let me cook dinner, or let me do like little odd jobs, whether that's mow your lawn or to fix something, understand that the person tries to do, but it's so little compared to how much you're expected to give, how much other people. So what happens is every single person that rescues them winds up giving so much to them, and they're not really giving as much that they're not building that emotional connection. And then what happens is it's human nature to expect, to have expectations. When what we saw here was expectations. I think twice I saw expectations. Did I see expectations here? I thought that I saw, maybe I didn't see it here. Well, I just feel like this person had expectations of you, coming in and doing it because again, this person's a little deluded. And they're deluded because there's someone that escapes, they avoids their problems. They don't they don't make a decision for themselves. What they do is they sit on the sidelines and they do a lot of hinting, they do a lot of flirting, they do a lot of, you know, like guilting and acting as if they're the victim, and then someone usually comes in and fixes it and helps them because they can also turn on the charm. They also can, be that charming person, that nice person when they want to be. But this person's a chameleon. They don't, there is no identity. They become whoever you want them to become. And the reason why is because they're always getting out of a bad situation. And then, there's always someone else because again, addiction is that. It's that you want to know whether this person cares. This person, I feel like, has a lot of narcissistic energies because they're not used to feeling guilty. They're angry. Their default emotion is anger. They don't want to look at this. They're like, how dare you like make me look at this? How dare you make me feel this bad? I don't want to feel this way. I'm going to check out. I'm gonna be lazy about it, but I'm gonna have anxiety. But that this is also because what's psychologically happening is that this person is suppressing their emotions. So they're fighting. They know what they want to. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it because first they some of them have money issues and they don't want judgment. It breaks the illusion that they're the authority. So instead, they're used to projecting. But what's happening is they can't project. They're in a place of sadness because they're really like stressed out. They wanted you to conform. You intimidate them because you're not. So what we see here is that this person is not on your vibration because they feel inadequate about themselves. So, in order for you to really belong, you would have to like not you would have to like deal with their inner child issues. You would have to deal with their self-image complex. You would have to, again, that they would be dominant and the relationship would be all about sex and that they would still have a lot of bad habits. So this is what you didn't want. You're like, you're not going to be the authority over me, especially when you feel inadequate and I intimidate you because you want me to then conform so that you can feel as if you're the authority. But in that, it's like you're not navigating the relationship, one that's in my best interest. This is you. You're like, because what you do is you project. It's not real. You create illusions. You need healing. You have a lot of bad habits in order to deal with life, and you want to dominate me. So again, the relationship is focused more on the physical level, but really on a low vibration. So after a while, this person didn't build the emotional connection to you. And the whole time you know, they wanted to keep you in a place of being subservient to them, to disempowering you. And the fact that you wouldn't do it, they're angry. They're angry because they actually thought all the games that they were playing were going to bring you two closer together. And what it has done is it's brought you further apart because now you see them for who they are, where I don't really believe that you saw 100% for them for who they are. Like you see that they have a lot of like shameful um behaviors and that they actually hold on to shame because they have a lot of self-sabotaging behaviorism. So they're not really looking for a relationship. What they're looking for is an attachment, someone that would be their mother, their nanny, their babysitter, their fixer, someone that makes them look, again, the illusion that they live a balanced life. That you constantly made them jealous because your life looks better. They're resentful because who you are is like contradicts what they keep trying to make you into is the best way that I can explain it. So this is the energy there. I'm going to just pull three, like to see like, is there anything? Well, this person feels like I dream of you. It's again, they feel like there is still is very strong spiritual connection that are filled with regret because you're further apart than you have ever been before. You make them nervous again because they're emotionally unavailable and they know that the rose-colored glasses that you once saw them have fallen off. Like you don't see them through that. So it's not that this person doesn't feel like, that you're the first person on their mind when they wake up. So there is this strong connection and there is love. It's just they act like they don't care about you when deep down that they do because they run away from, again, facing their problems, like which I said. So, will they ever do anything? I mean, right now it shows that they're not really doing anything except for, you know, s- they still feel very intimidated by you. And that's because all their games created like the illusion of who they presented themselves is no longer. And now they know that you see them for who they truly are and that you're not going to settle. So you make them nervous. But it's again, are you their dream person? I believe that you are their dream person because they have the opportunity to step it up to the twin flame journey. It was there for them. It was there for them. But this person's not on your level. They're not on your level. So they could have, but because they're emotionally unavailable, and that's because what did they do? They check out. There's addictions here. So they don't want to look at what they have to do. They're choosing to stay in their habits and their behaviorisms. It's really because they don't think that they're good enough to be with you. That's what I see here. It's like they know that you're not going to compromise, you're not going to make it easy for them. So they're making a conscious choice to not really pursue this. But are you their dream person? Yeah. But remember, this person focuses a lot on the physical. So for what they perceive of you, and they perceive that, but they perceive you as being successful. They find you very attractive. They find, again, you have all the ingredients, but you would only be perfect if they would could come in and act the way that they want to act. Have you all to themselves to do whatever they want to do, give very little, and still play a lot of games to feel superior. They would look at you as you'd be something great to hang off my arm. You're great eye candy. You're great for what I can utilize you for. And you wouldn't allow that. And that's why this person's angry because they really thought on some level that you would. So the first card out is innocence. Second card out is organized chaos. Third card out is self-sabotage. Fourth card out is anchor, neglect, trauma. How many is that? One, two, three, four, five, six, six. So those are your inner child wound cards. And when we have inner child wound, what happens is that we see that karmic theme continue to play out when it hasn't been integrated or healed. And so it just plays out in different relationships. And here we see the neglect and the fact that there wasn't any support. There wasn't any support. So again, like you figured things out, but it was always chaotic. Yeah, that's what happens when you're a child and you're doing a parent's job. It's like you're going to be overly nervous, you're going to be insecure because you're not supposed to be being a parent. You're not supposed to do that. But your needs went neglected. Yeah, it was like you were ignored. There was no support, there was no anchor. So you weren't as grounded, and that was also created a lot of chaos. And the reason why was because it was traumatic. And there was trauma, whether or not you inherited that because your parents went through traumatic experiences where one parent might have been sick a lot, one parent might have been overly emotional that that created trauma. They could have been angry because there wasn't enough money, and that was traumatic, and they projected a lot of their anger onto you, and they neglected you because of their situation. There's many different reasons why, again, but there was trauma, and there was no support because of it. You were neglected. And what happens then is that children then overthink, they overdo, they worry, they do things from a place of fear instead of a place of love, and that creates a lot of self-sabotaging behaviors. So again, you did grow up with parents, but it was chaotic because there was no support. And so your innocence was robbed. So what this person did was they brought up all the same energy by they neglected you. They did not support you. The innocence of the connection was gone. If anything, they were trying to create a lot of trauma experiences for you by gaslighting you, by stonewalling you, by again trying to knock your self-esteem down. That didn't work. You didn't, again, self-sabotage yourself. You didn't give this person your time, your energy, because you already knew that it would be chaotic and you didn't want to be in that energy. And that's why this person's angry. They thought possibly because you grew up in a certain environment that, they saw the giver, they saw the healer in you. So they thought, well, that you were going to do that for them. And that's not what happened. It's like you learned your lesson. And that's the healing thing that a lot of times when we have these inner child wounds, we may have healed them in our mind, but not until we embody the new consciousness. And that's what happened here. You got into the situation, you saw that this person was playing a lot of games. They were trying to knock down your self-esteem for no reason because they wanted you to live the narrative that they wanted you to live that was convenient for them so that they could look like they were the authority when you were like, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving, and the fact that they did it, now it's again, they know that they burned this connection down to the ground. They don't know how to come back to this, and nor would they come back to this because, like I said, you already shattered their self-image. So as long as they don't come back, they don't have to face what they did. But understand it's killing them inside because they had a connection here. They realized it, but they can't do anything about it because you're not going to sabotage your life. You're not going to settle for less than what you deserve. Yeah, but instead, you're listening to the whisper of your soul guiding you, and you align your actions with your values, and you're not being with anyone that doesn't align with your values. So it's again, you listen to your higher self. You showed fear strength because there was a deep connection. That's what this person didn't know. They didn't realize how strong you were emotionally. They thought that you weren't. They're used to dealing with people that aren't. If anything, you brought out the weakness in them. You brought out emotion that they didn't even know that they could experience, and you messed them up because again of your fierce strength because they really thought that they were going to get what they wanted, and you were the alchemist. That it was all about going through this experience so you could see yourself differently, that no one can sabotage you, no one can take away your happiness, no one can do that. Only you can agree to do that, and you didn't do it. It's like, and that's why this person's angry because it's like they're not happy where they are. They're not happy anywhere because, and they'll never be happy anywhere because they don't know who they are. And as long as they don't work on themselves, they'll always be looking for someone to like inherit their negative karma and benefit from your good karma, or not just your good karma, anyone's good karma. See, it's like you're not, when you chose to walk away from this person and show fear strength and alchemize the energy, well, life happens. It's like your life begins to get better. This person wants to come back into your life while their life looks like shit. It's like, and they didn't treat you right, and then they're going to act like the victim, and they're going to be mad because you're not going to do it. And it's because they were so sure. So it's again, you're making them look at themselves and they don't like what they see. So again, here we see it again, inner strength. Nothing moves you from your path to light because you have complete confidence in yourself. You realize that your innate qualities and your abilities, and know that with God, you can do anything. All the power you need is within you. Like that, you don't need this person. This person is normally able to like come into people's life and, be a real sweet talker, convince people that they're going to make their life better. I feel like this person does have gifts to be able to make money, but I think that in this situation, they would not, they would not be doing anything. They would be feeding off of you. And this is regular energy that this person does because it's like you're happy. You got away. They didn't think that that was ever going to happen. And that's so the bigger they are, the harder they fall. and understand the truth always comes out as long as you're true to yourself. And what we saw here in this story is that the person that this Scorpio was, thank God, because this person's not deserving and they really do need to like get their karma, like really get their karma, like receive it. Let them be angry. Let them. It's like that's a part of the healing process is denial. Eventually, that mask will really come off all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, and they won't, and they'll have no choice but to become a better person, or they'll continue in this karmic cycle and they won't live very long because we can't live this way forever. What'll happen is that it creates too much stress on the nervous system. We close down our heart. Then there's addictive behavior. This person again. So eventually they come to their demise. They'll have more and more and more tower moments where it'll be very hard to it's very hard to come back after a certain point in your life. Like they're too old for this, is what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.